Okay, Robert, on behalf of Global Dressage and Angle and Volkers, I'm happy to present you with the first Global Dressage Visionary Award.
Well, that's so sweet. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It's very nice.
So, Robert, I wanted to ask you. You've been so involved with dressage, obviously, 6-time Olympian. You've been riding since you were very small.
Yeah.
I know that you've been involved with Global since its inception and involved with United States Dressage. Tell me what inspired you to carry it through now that you are so much involved with the United States Equestrian Team.
Well, you know what? It's interesting, Carol, because it goes back to, honestly, a really old story. And that is when I was a teenager, it just so happened that the coach of our Olympic team took me aside one day as he was my mentor, Colonel Bengt Ljungqvist, and said, Robert, I'm going back to Sweden, and I want you to understand that you have a special responsibility, and that is to carry on the things that I've taught you, because many of them are not going to remember what I've said. And I had no idea what he meant by that. I was 18 years old, I think. And he went to Sweden, and he died there from a heart attack. Somehow, he knew he was never coming back. And at that time, I recognized that maybe his words had some meaning, but it wasn't until much later in my life that I reflect back on it and realize that he was saying that I was going to have some role in the sport bigger than I even knew. I was actually groomed from that age, from an early age, 15 years old, to be an Olympic athlete, and then later to teach the youth of our nation and eventually to coach our team. And I truly believed that it was fate. So with all of that and the sense of responsibility, I saw this polo club here that was broken down and withering away. And at that time, if you recall, dressage had been dropped out of the schedule from stadium jumping, from the WEF.
I remember.
Completely, for like 2 years. And you and I and pretty much everybody in the dressage world were incensed at the fact that we live here, we're a thriving community, but we weren't in the show schedule. So I had asked about it, but gotten sort of we're not very interested because it's not a money maker. And then it occurred to me that I worked out in the gym with some of the founders from the WEF. And so while I was working out with people like Roger Smith and some others, I mentioned to them that I really thought that there was a opportunity that was being missed here. And Roger listened to what I had to say, made an appointment for lunch with Mark and with a couple of others over at the golf club in the polo club. And I sat down with them and said, listen, Mark, I really believe that this polo stadium, which is now yours and not being used, and is the size exactly of the Aachen stadium, this Aachen venue, would be an enormous opportunity for our sport, and actually, with a real business model, would be a moneymaker too, and a great investment. And with that, he took that and started to build on something that he thought would be great, which we all know and we've seen. And then that was, because of our community, pared down. But even with that, look at what has been created here. And, you know, I said, if you build it, they will come, and they'll come from all over the world.
And they have.
You know.
And they have.
So that was it.
And that's why, you know, when you said to me, Carol, I mean, it was actually on the internet. You were in Europe,
Yeah.
and you started talking about the pipeline and lead line.
Yes.
And I said, I'm going to help.
Yeah.
Because I believe your words, when you said your words have always stuck with me. And they really have. You've made an incredible impression on me all through these years. And the sport, it's my, I
It's your
feel
passion,
it. It's
yeah.
my passion. I care about it very much, and I feel you all the time, and I know you have it right.
Well, thank you.
And I believe that the lead line, although others may find it as something that is not important, I find it just as important.
It's huge.
It's
You're so
huge.
right. It's huge.
It's where my
Because
daughter got started.
the beginning of the pipeline is the part that the Europeans get. It's a part that our hunter and jumper industry understands. So they built this lead line class in order to, at an entry level, bring families with their littlest of children into the sport. What does that do? It says when they grow up a little bit older and they say, now mommy and daddy, I'm out of the lead line, but I want a pony. That creates a larger pony division.
It does.
From that, we have a thriving industry of little children on ponies where trainers will actually become related to a pony barn. And because of that, kids will be trained earlier how to truly ride great.
Well, we started out as hunters.
Yeah.
We were in a hunter barn. I met London Gray in the supermarket
Yeah.
in Bedford, New York,
Yeah.
where we lived.
Yeah.
And we went to her farm at Sunnyfield
You got
and
it.
saw Courtney King
Yeah.
riding Idicus with Michael Poulin teaching her.
Yeah.
And my daughter was 3.5 years old. And she said, I want to do that.
All right.
And we went to the local tack shop and got Anki and Isabel's video
Right.
on it was Bonfire
Yeah.
and I can't remember the
Yeah.
other. Or is it-
Gigolo.
Gigolo, that's
Exactly.
right. Bonfire and
Yeah,
Gigolo.
yeah.
She watched it and watched it and watched it and said, dressage, mommy.
Yeah.
That's what I want to do, dressage.
And that's what we want the kids to do.
And that's
the
what we
families.
did.
Well, see, we have to build on that. And I'm so appreciative that you're taking the lead in creating this pony lead line division because it's going to inspire families to get involved. And it makes a full circle, doesn't it?
Yes.
Families get involved. They get ponies. The pony division grows. The retailers of pony equipment start being able to say, oh, I want to have pony equipment.
Right.
The sponsors say, oh, look at all that. I want to be part of that.
And it's fun.
The tables get sold to families. It builds on the show, and it makes a full circle around. And so that's what I think you're bringing to it, and I'm really appreciative.
Well, it really starts from you, your energy, everything that you do. It resonates with all of us. And, you know, I can't tell you that it's really your words. Your words are always in the back of my head. And I'm happy to help out, and that's why my first
Wow,
Visionary
sweet.
Award
Wow,
comes
sweet.
to you.
Thank you again.
Thank
I
you,
really, really
sweetheart.
appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you
Okay.
so much.
And thank you, everybody.
Thank you.